Hi, my name is Simone King, and I am in the veterinary science program at Miami Valley CTC. My home school is Tippecanoe High School, and I'm doing my project on fly prevention testing in horses. In my project, I did a homemade versus commercial fly mask. The abstract. The experiment is used to challenge commercial fly masks and to see if a better alternative would be a homemade fly mask or a commercial one. This experiment is also used to help improve fly mask prevention with horses so that health problems and irritation doesn't occur. Throughout this research project, I will conduct some experiments and do some studies to be conducted and finalized. Introduction. Horses are exposed to the outdoors all the time, and they primarily live on open fields. This type of living can open the horses to exposure of many different types of insects and flies, which can cause a lot of harm to them. These bothersome insects can cause the horses to become reckless, nervous, and cause an interruption in performance. This shows by the horses stomping, rubbing their bodies, or continuing to whip their tail. This stress that the insects/flies cause can be majorly damaging to the mental health of the horses. Being able to identify the harmful insects and flies in this research to find preventative methods to create a fly mask best for the horses. This is my literature review. With insects and flies being a huge problem with the health and well-being of horses, it's important to identify, discuss, and understand all kinds of insects and flies that have an effect on horses. Starting with the blister beetles, they do not directly attack the horses but can contaminate the hay that the horses eat for nutrition. The horse fly is the most harmful to horses. Their bite is extremely painful. It can cause the horses to bleed, which attracts more flies and insects. The stable flies have a painful bite as well that pierces the horse's skin. The fly sucks the horse's blood as a food source. The mosquito feeds on horses and can cause blood loss and irritability to horses. The final insect on the list is lice. They are seen on the head and neck and mane and tail. They feed on the skin tissue and secretions, which can cause the horses to rub, bite themselves, stomp, and exhibit extreme discomfort. With all the types of bothersome and harmful flies and insects, there needs to be steps taken to prevent horses from harm. With the majority of horse owners that use various types of methods to contribute to the prevention of bothersome flies and insects. One of the most common methods is the use of horse spray that helps repel insects and flies off the main portion of the horse's body. This lacks the ability to keep flies and insects away from the eyes and face of the horses. Commercial fly masks were then made for this purpose. These are my materials. The animal specimen that I use is Bo. He's a quarter horse, and he's pictured in here with his mask on. And then the materials that I use to make my homemade fly mask is flannel fleece fabric from Joann Fabrics, which this is my fly mask, which is shown at the outside of this mask. I use industrial strength Velcro right here to Velcro it together so it comes off like this. If it comes off. Well, you can see that right there. And then I use weed liner fabric from Menards. And then I use sewing machine and thread. And then this is the commercial fly mask that I use. It looks a lot more put together than mine, but I tried my hardest. Methods. Once the important research was done, it was time to begin the experiment portion. When gathering materials, it was hard to find materials that was sturdy and comfortable for the horses when they were wearing the mask. The materials that are used in making the homemade mask are what I said previously. Once the mask was made, it was time to test the mask on the horses. I first put the commercial fly mask on the horse Bo and left it on for 2 hours. When I came back after 2 hours of the waiting period, the mask was still on securely, meaning that Bo didn't try to remove it at any point or it didn't fall off. Following the commercial fly mask, the homemade fly mask was put on. After the 2-hour waiting period, I came back out and noticed that Bo was not wearing the mask anymore. This means that the mask was taken off by Bo or it fell off. This is my results chart. It shows that the commercial stayed on for the full 2 hours, and then the homemade one was only on for an hour and 30 minutes. Conclusion. Overall, after learning about the different insects and flies and methods to prevent harmful insects, the commercial and homemade fly mask research was created. With the amount of money used to buy the materials for the homemade mask added up to the same as the commercial, and the commercial mask lasted longer and provided the horses what he needed to stay harm-free from the insects and flies. And then this is my works cited. Thank you for watching.